Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. Fairly recently, the man who is considered to be the lion of Nigeria, very fearless, a man who is ready to face anyone without giving in to any form of threat. I'm talking about Senator Eninaya Hakot Abaribe, who is the minority leader of the Ninth Senate, has decided to speak up concerning a lot of issues, one which is the 2023 presidency, and also the legacy that will be left behind for whoever that will sit on the seat, and the things that have been done in this country which has threatened the existence of the country. And he's just wondering if truly there will be a country come 2023. Let's just go down together and see how he responded to an interview that was granted him by a media house. All right, and in the interview, Abaribe was asked that the government of the day had campaigned with three things which it called the focus of the administration, and one of it was tackling insecurity, fixing the economy, and also the corruption that they said they were going to fight. He was being asked if the expectation of the people have been met. In other words, if they have made his expectation. And Baribe, in responding, said, and I quote, he said, "I did an interview a short while ago at Radio House in Abuja. It was done before the NBC came up with their 5 million naira fine, and they became the National Assembly that makes the law and the judiciary that impose penalties, and so they became a part of everything, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. So when I granted that interview and they asked this same question, I said I will answer using an allegory from Fela and Nicola Pokuti, that Fela sang a song called Confusion Break Bones. And in the opening part of the song, he spoke about mismanagement and stealing by government, saying everything now old news be that. So what you are talking about sounds like an old news, sounds like a broken record repeating itself. And that is the most pitiful part of everything. The same thing that the government complained about when they came in 2015 have even got worse. And of course, when they were getting worse before the last election, we complained, and the people were also complaining and pointing out to them that you guys are doing exactly the same thing that you complain about, and nothing seems to be getting better. And at the time, the APC government always had a fallback position, and that fallback position was that PDP left this place in shambles, and we are coming in to repair it. Fine. It is now 5 years after PDP had left the place, and they have left the place in even worse shape than they complained about. And so we are now looking at them and remembering Fela saying, old news. There is nothing you can do. This government has lost it. So when we talk about the state of the nation today, I think what we actually ought to pray for, which was what I called for on that day, is that it is about time patriots step in. By the time they finish, there will probably be no Nigeria left, and we will continue to say it. There will be none. And if there is no Nigeria, then all these things that we are doing, all the running around, all the ups and downs, becomes exercise in futility. And when he was further asked on who will be taking over the leadership position and the strategies that are already on ground by PDP, according to Abaribe, he said, well, I think the verdict is already out. 2023 is not almost here. It is 3 years away. We are in 2020. The other day, the president came trying to find a lame duck way to say, I will leave some legacies. What legacy is he going to leave? He is just going to leave a legacy of debt, a legacy of difficulty, and the most important legacy which the president has left or will leave will be a legacy of making things totally impossible for whosoever takes over from him to govern. And I would tell you how it goes. This government has been the only government that has gone against the law of the country. It has gone against section 14, subsection 3 of the constitution, which talks about federal character. It has gone against the federal character principle that were even brought by previous government before us in order to well up together in terms of unity. Even the Federal Character Commission itself, that is supposed to be the ombudsman that would check the breaches of the law by government, was also compromised by this government, where today both chairman and secretary are manned by people from the northern part of the country. Before now, you had a chairman from the northern part and you had the secretary from the south, and this is what I am talking about, that this government is going to make it extremely impossible for whoever takes over from them to do well. Assuming somebody takes over and he is from the southwest, will he follow what this government had already instituted? For example, by putting all security agencies, the 14 or 16 of them, under people from the south, just like the federal government have done today by putting all under people from the north. How is it going to function, assuming it is something from the southeast or someone from the southeast? Will he put everything under people from the southeast? Will this country take it? So, what this government has done is to lay landmines that will destroy this country. And when we were shouting and telling some elements that they are laying conditions to make this country rupture, they say the president needs to work with only those that he is comfortable with. And now you can see the consequences of that. Now, now that he has instituted nepotism as a fundamental part of the architecture of government, somebody coming after him, supposing his own people come to him and say it's been done before, just like they are telling us, oh, PDP did it before. And so if I become president and I decide that all my brothers from the southeast will take over everything, and so I retire everybody and put my people, because it has been done before. And if you talk, I will say, listen, Buhari did it. You said dangerous president, you don't even know what happened in a country. How do you build a country? You build a country in a way that even things that you want to do against your natural instincts, you think of others and you think of tomorrow. You have a holistic view of everything. But we have a very narrow minded and provincial person who just does not care. And so it is the implication of what these things are going to bring that we have continued to talk against. And that is why we are in the conundrum today. And coming to the question of APC, APC is dead today. APC swallowed its own chairman and brought a caretaker committee. And what will the caretaker committee do? They will just be modeling along, but when the time comes, they will now say, let's do a convention and bring up a chairman. When are they going to get the chairman that will not trigger the same thing driving APC apart? That is the first issue that APC will have to confront. The second issue that APC will have to confront is, will any which way APC is in trouble. So you find that when we talk about the future, we want to go from today to tomorrow and be sure that there is even a country. And that is why my very good friend Peter Obi, some people were asking him the other day, do you want to be Igbo president? And he said, listen, why can we be talking, or why can we be talking about that when we have existential problem right in front of us? Can this nation survive? We have the COVID-19 pandemic, which combined with the drop in oil price to zero, now led the country to go into borrowing spree to fund recurrent expenditure. And so a few days down the line, where do we think we are going to do? What do we think, we are going to do? Those were some of the things that Abaribe responded to. And he talked a little about the issue of debt. There are a lot of persons who have responded. I want to pick one or two, and we just end it. They go to our comment section and let's interact. This one says, surprisingly, with everything this man said, I can vouch for him and say he's a good leader. Just hope they are not tongues in cheek statement and his words interpret his action. If not, I withdraw my endorsement. What is wrong if Igbo produce someone that says the truth as it is and bring up solution to the problem clocking the nation's development? And this one here says, Sen.Abaribe, the Lion of Nigeria, I salute you, sir. Really, how can we be talking about Southeast presidency or any presidency at all by 2023 when we have existential issues threatening us caused by the nepotism, tribalism, and religious bigotry and administrative inaptitude of this present junta? We have security chiefs coming from one section of the country only. We have all major MDAs under northern control, and the few delegates to the south were done after serious outcries. We have a situation where the government gives every single reason not to touch or arrest Fulani herdsmen terrorists, explaining away their massacre as reprisal, meaning anyone can kill as much of their enemies as they like as long as it's termed as reprisal. We have a situation where the government refuses to go after the murderers called Fulani herdsmen. Instead, they call them in for forgiveness. It seems so, and I advise you Nigerians to be very afraid and prepared. Tomorrow it might be the turn of your own village. Village, no joke. Let's not talk about the economy. The situation is heartbreaking. Loans are collected for real roads and other projects, completely boycotting the eastern parts, even though they are a significant investor in our economy as a very huge percentage of imports are done by them. They still have to truck their goods from Apapa to Onitsha, Aba, etc. Yet a real road was built to a village several kilometers into Niger Republic. God help us, but we must also help ourselves immediately. Arewa, come and do the needful. Now you've heard what a lot of persons have said and would like to leave it. They go to our comment section. Let's interact. What do you have to say about the statement made by Abaribe? Do you think that Nigeria will still be in existence come 2023?